Alright, estudiantes, today we're going to be talking about direct object pronouns. Now, don't worry, we're going to start in English, and then we're going to move to Spanish. So if you don't remember what a direct object or a direct object pronoun is in English, make sure that you pay attention through this review section. Okay? In English, please. So the direct object in a sentence can be the person or thing that receives the action. So the key idea is that they receive the action. All right? Hint, it's going to be a noun, a person or a thing. It is not, I repeat, this is so important. It is not the person or thing that does the action. That's our subject. Okay? That's our subject. Let's look at an example, shall we? Okay. He has the book. All right? Who's doing the having? He, right? So he is our subject. Now, what does he have? He has the book. So the book is our direct object. Okay? All right. We're going to stay in English, and I want you to identify the direct objects by underlining the noun. All right? So go ahead and hit pause and underline on your notes the correct direct object. Please do so now. Okay, let's see how you did. You should have underlined, what do I read? I read the book. He eats a sandwich. What does he eat? A sandwich. We are doing the homework. Well, what are we doing? The homework. You're studying for the test. What are you studying for? The test, or your test, excuse me. And then they read novels. What do they read? Novels. Okay? So those are direct objects. So far, so good? Okay. Now let's talk about direct object pronouns. These pronouns replace a direct object in a sentence. Okay? Now I want you to think about this. And on your notes, you might want to someplace do a better job of identifying that our pronouns in English are either it or them for right now. Okay? Our pronouns we're talking about right now is going to be it or them. Make sure you're comfortable with that. Okay? So, for example, in English I could say I read the book or I read it. We could also say I read the books or I read them. In English, the direct object and the direct object pronoun both come after the verb. What are they doing? Well, they're reading. And then our object or direct objects then come afterwards, as well as our direct object pronouns. Okay, so our word order doesn't change. All right, ready to flip over to Spanish? Here we go. All right, so here are our direct object pronouns when we're talking about items. Okay, so it and them. Lo, la, los, or las. All right, and of course our direct object pronouns must agree with the direct object they are replacing. All right, so some examples. If we've got las maletas, out of those four, which one are we going to choose? If you said las, you are correct. What about el aeropuerto? The answer is lo. Very good. Singular and masculine. What about la puerta? It is going to be la. And then los trajes de baño, sorry about the double day there, is going to be los. So far, so good? Awesome. All right. Now, hold on. Here's where things can kind of get a little tricky. Our word order in Spanish is different with our direct object pronouns than our word order in English. So in Spanish, the direct object pronoun, the lo, la, los, or las, comes before the verb, despite the fact that the direct object, just the direct object, comes after the verb. Okay? So let's look at some examples. I have them, and I'm talking about my suitcases. Yo las tengo. Yo las tengo means I have them. Okay? And I'm going to be using the examples from the previous sentence. So if that kind of gives you a heads up. where I got my answers. We see it, and I'm talking about the airport. Nosotros lo vemos. He found it, and we're talking about the gate. Él la encontró. And then they have them, and we're talking about the swimsuits. Ellos los tienen. Alright, so see, our word order is just a little bit different. So now it's time for you to practice. So you're going to first underline the direct object in the Spanish sentence, and then rewrite the sentence using the correct direct object pronoun. Okay, so let's do the first one together. Ella usa el lápiz. All right. Ella usa el lápiz. What does she use? El lápiz. So el lápiz is our direct object. So if we wanted to say she uses it, and we're referring to the pencil, then how would we say that in Spanish? All right? Go back to those sentences in that previous slide, those examples. We would change that to ella lo usa, period. That's our sentence. She uses it. All right. Next one, why don't you try on your own? Yo veo a la maestra. So even though we're talking about la maestra, what do you think you replace la maestra with? Yo la veo. Good. All right, please make sure that you're jotting down any questions that you have. All right. So now I want you to rewrite this sentence, replacing the direct object. So yo leo el libro. Your answer, if I want to say I read the book, or I read it, yo lo leo. Yo lo leo. Number dos. Él come el sándwich. What are you going to replace el sándwich with? Él lo come. Nosotros hacemos la tarea. What are you going to replace la tarea with? Nosotros la hacemos. Tú estudias para los exámenes. Tú las estudias. You study for them. Ellos leen las novelas. And we're going to say ellas las leen. All right. So far, so good? Awesome. All right. There's more. All right. We can also have people as our direct objects. Right? So here's our meaning in English. So the first sign, this one, this guy right here, these are all of our direct objects. Me, te, lo, la, nosos, los, and las. All right, and here's what they mean when we're talking about people. Me would be me. Te, you. Lo and la means it, but it also, when we're talking about people, means him or her or you formal. Nos means us. Os means you all in Spain. Los and las could mean them when we're talking about items, but it also could mean them when we're talking about people. Follow me? Awesome. Let's look at some sentences. All right, so rewrite this sentence with the correct direct object pronoun. Make sure you fill them in on your own notes sheet. So if I want to say, I see him, or excuse me, I see you. Yo lo veo. Ellos ven a nosotros would be ellos nos ven. Tú ves a la chica, tú la ves. All right. So they see us, you see her. So far, so good? All right. Now when we're using the negative no in a sentence, so if we want to say we don't see them or we don't find it, then our word order changes just a little bit. We're breaking some rules, okay? So that direct object pronouns always come right before the verb, okay? So if we take that no, then we're going to have to move that no a little bit. So let's look at the sentence. Yo no cuido a mi hermana. I don't take care of my sister. All right? So if I want to say I don't take care of her, yo no la cuido. Notice the no comes before our DOP. Ella hace la tarea, or ella no hace la tarea. She doesn't do the homework. So ella no la hace. I think that's it. Yes. All right. This is a difficult concept because our word order is a little bit different. The key that you can focus on is knowing what direct object pronouns to use when you're given a subject, and we will continue to work on the word order. Please make sure that you write down any questions that you have, and we'll go over those in class. Thanks.